As ours turn to minutes ahead of the expiration of the tenure of local government chairman in Rivers State, tension mounts across council headquarters over a possible showdown following earlier resolution by the chairman that they won't vacate office today. And the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, says the United Arab Emirates will be lifting visa ban against Nigeria as soon as all procedures have been completed. He says we should expect that announcement very soon. Hello and welcome to Politics Today, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma, sitting in for Sheun Okimbaloye. Well, a lot has been going on, but I must begin by saying happy holidays, Eid al-Kabir, to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. And the reason for the season is this feast of sacrifice that we have been admonished to emulate from the Holy Prophet himself. And the president has also admonished every citizen in that direction. But besides all of that, there's a lot still going on within the polity, even though we're on holidays. And we'll be delving into some of those things happening in our polity. One of the highlights of it will be what is going on in Rivers State, as well as other states of the country, as well as some other things happening at the national level. So just sit tight as you just watch, and let's have a good time together on this public holiday edition of the program. But let's tell you that the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, says plans are underway by the United Arab Emirates government to lift the visa ban imposed on Nigerian travelers soon. In an interview with the special senior assistant to the president in the State House on their YouTube channel, Mr. Keyamo explains that a resolution has been reached between President Bola Tinubu and UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan during the president's visit to the UAE, remember at that time in September. Now, according to him, although the UAE had initially listed additional processes to be met before the ban could be officially lifted, the Nigerian government has since completed all processes, paving the way for an announcement soon from the UAE government. So that is the big announcement for people who travel to the UAE and all of the contention that comes with it. We remember how this played out the last time, but the minister has assured that this time that announcement will be coming from the United Arab Emirates to see that all of the issues have been resolved. Let's move on now. The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, has faulted the federal government for contemplating adding new aircraft to the existing presidential fleet. Reacting to the development on his handle, that's his ex-handle, Mr. Obi said, at a time when our country is trending on the global media for facing its worst economic crisis marked by high inflation, a falling currency, and a widespread poverty, the government's plan to buy a new presidential jet, in his words, demonstrates extreme insensitivity to citizens' struggle. According to the former governor of Anambra State, it is therefore time to stop this, what he considers impunity, insensitivity, shamelessness in his words, and refocus on the needs of the people by prioritizing education, healthcare, and lifting our citizens out of poverty instead of focusing on the interest of a few. So that's his reaction to the plan to buy any jets on the presidential fleet. But by the way, the president, we must say tomorrow, June the 18th, 2024, will be departing for Lagos. Remember, he's in Lagos for the holidays, where he'll be heading to Pretoria in South Africa to attend the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa. The inauguration of President Ramaphosa follows his re-election as president for his second term. The president is expected to return to Nigeria after the ceremony. That's coming from the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Ajuri Ngalale, that President Bola Tinubu will be jetting out of the country tomorrow to attend that event in South Africa. Okay, that out of the way, let's head to some of the things that are going on in Rivers State. Youths in the 3 local government areas of the Kalabari ethnic group have occupied the 3 local government secretariats to demand the vacation of the council chairman from office. The local government areas are Degema, Asari Toru, and Akuku Toru local government. In videos obtained by Channels Television, as you can see, show some of how the youth have mobilized to block the entrance of the council complexes and requesting traders within the premises to leave. Reports say more local government areas are being occupied as we speak. So you can see Asalga and other local government within the Kalabari ethnic nationality occupying the area.
Nobody should come to the park anymore.
So that's the situation of things in Rivers State, which is some level of palpable tension because there has been a back and forth between the lawmakers, the 26 lawmakers led by Martin Aime, and of course the pro-Fubara lawmakers. The House has been divided, and all of this feud between the governor and his godfather, political godfather, has degenerated to what we're seeing today. Now the local government chairman, their tenure expires today or ends today after 3 years. But there was a law amended by the 26 lawmakers extending if elections were not conducted. And the local government chairman said, we will stay obeying the laws made by those 26 lawmakers. But there has been issue of restraining order as to who is the lawmaker, whether they can operate or parade themselves. It's a gamut of issues. We're going to explore all of that. Meanwhile, a former Niger Delta agitator, Alhaji Asare Dokubo, who is from the ethnic group, that is the Calabari ethnic nationality, is advising elected chairman of the 23 local government areas in Rivers State to quietly leave office by midnight today as their tenure expires. He said despite arguments from the chairman, it is crucial for them to leave office to avoid creating fundamental problems in the state. That's his word. Those were his words. He stressed the importance of adhering to the stipulated tenure limits in the local government law of 2018 to maintain order and legality. As I said, this on the sidelines of a visit by the Muslim community to Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the government house in Port Harcourt. He specifically addressed the youths, cautioning them against being recruited to disrupt the peace of the state during this transition period.
Rivers State is bigger than any individual. No individual can take Rivers State people for a ride and pocket us. It's not possible. Local government tenure has expired today. They should quietly go home. If they want to seek re-election in accordance with the Constitution, they should go and seek re-election. But there is no tenure elongation in the Constitution. Their position is tenure ban, and that tenure has expired. Let them not cause unnecessary problem for the people of the state. And I want to advise young people that, look, don't allow yourself to be used.
All right, so just a snippet or a highlight of what is going on in Rivers State at the moment. So by my time, it's about 8 minutes past the hour of 7. So we have just a few more hours to midnight. Let's see what will play out at the end of the day. The prayer of everyone is that things should not degenerate to violence. And with the way things are going, something has to be done to make sure that the state is not pushed into any form of chaos. But those are not the only stories we're tracking for you. We'll bring in our political roundup stories and we'll start our conversation for today.
The Oyo State Governor, Mr. Seyi Makinde, says his government will continue to work ceaselessly to ensure even development in critical sectors across the state. Governor Makinde was speaking while presenting the scorecard of his 5-year administration to the Oyo State House of Assembly. He notes that the internally generated revenue of the state has increased from 4.2 billion naira in 2023 to 4.95 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024. According to the governor, the policies and projects of his administration in the past 5 years have been geared towards restoring dignity and pride of the Oyo people.
Our template has been very simple. Connect all our zones first. If we can go from zone A to zone B to zone C, then 50% of our problems must have been solved.
The governor of Cross River State and coordinator of the All Progressives Congress governors in the South-South Zone, Senator Basi Otu, has assured the party that the zone will continue to work for the expansion and development of the party. Speaking at the South-South APC caucus meeting in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, Governor Otu explains that President Tinubu has put a lot in place to better the nation, and the only way to support him is by ensuring that the APC family keeps expanding and delivers on the objectives of the government. The meeting had in attendance the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and other senior party officials from the zone.
I read the list of our dear President, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the leader of our great party, Mr. He said it's not good that Governor 2 of Cross River State should be alone in the South-South politics. The 10 Senate, we have passed a lot of bills, we have passed a lot of motions, but we are determined to protect Nigerians. We have said we are not an appendage of the executive, but we must work together with the executive.
The former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, says he will be supporting the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Monday, Okpeboloa, in the September 21 governorship election in Edo State. Speaking in Benin City, the Edo State capital, Mr. Shuaibu notes that the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, had earlier said everyone is free to choose who to support in any election, and that is why he's throwing his weight behind the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the election, in spite of his PDP membership.
The 2 homeboys that are left, one is in Labour, one is in APC, and I choose to follow another homeboy in APC. The man they are parading in PDP is an outsider. And we have also agreed that no more godfatherism in Edo.
And ahead of the off-cycle governorship election in Edo and Ondo states, the Kuka Center is advocating the need for peaceful polls which are free and fair in this election process. Addressing a stakeholders meeting in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital, the project manager of the center, Mr. Nkanta Emmanuel, notes that electoral violence has been contributing to the decreasing number of voters, especially women, and called on the Independent National Electoral Commission and the people of the state to ensure a transparent election.
Welcome back. In the last 1 year and 1 month since the administration of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, we've had at least 3 people being called Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly: Martin Zamewule, Edison Ehie, and Victor Okojombo. That is how divided and split up the House is. And this division, things really got bad on October 30th or so, when that House of Assembly, whether it was set on fire, there was a fire outbreak, whatever is being interpreted, but there was a fire and the chamber was burnt. And of course, at the end of the day, we saw division between 26 as against 4 members, some loyal to the FCT ministers, the majority of them, by the way, loyal to the FCT minister, and the other ones loyal to the governor. Things had metamorphosed to the point where the members of the House of Assembly had vetoed the governor on certain legislation up to about 6 to 7 times. One of the legislation is a Local Government Administration Act. And the amendment they did to the 2018 Local Government Administration Act is the fact that the governor no longer has powers to extend the tenure or put up a caretaker committee of local government chairmen. So by the law they have enacted and vetoed the governor on, as soon as their tenure ends and there's no election, they can stand for another 6 months. Most of the chairmen agreed with the lawmakers and said, at the end of today, because of that amendment, they will stay on in office. But there was a court order that said, look, they can't amend it because it's anti the 1999 Constitution as stipulated and the law they amended. So it's a gamut of litigation. On this Rivers State House of Assembly issue, I'm almost losing count of how many laws, court orders, interim injunction, and judgment we've seen flying around, which is why it's a big conversation. But of greater concern is what may happen tonight at midnight, which has to do with whether or not this local government chairman will indeed leave office. You can see, if you're watching from the beginning, some of the people have already mounted at the local government headquarters in Degema, Asari Toru, and Akuku Toru local government, which are the Kalabari ethnic nationality, saying at midnight, local government chairman, please leave, your tenure has ended. We haven't heard a pronouncement from the governor whether or not he has decided to put in caretaker chairman. That is why we're having this conversation. I've been joined on the program today by a former leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Mr. Tamono Sisi Gogo-Jaja, be joining us via Zoom. Mr. Gogo-Jaja, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for having me.
So, for those who follow politics and Rivers politics, this is of a big concern. Maybe you help us interpret. You are the one on ground right there in Rivers State. What exactly is happening as we speak? And what do you make of this situation as we dig deeper into the conversation?
Thank you for giving me this platform. But let me correct an impression that there is tension in Rivers State over the expiration of the tenure of the local government council chairman. There is no tension. I watched the clips you just played. And in Asaritoro, Akoko Toro, and Degema local government areas of the state, there were rumors. Actually, there were rumors that some persons were planning to loot council property. And the owners of the council, the local government areas, the youths of these local government areas mounted the entrance to some of the council secretariats and said they want to watch who will take away council property or the property of the local government area. But the truth of the matter is that by 12 midnight today, the tenure of the local government council chairman in Rivers State will expire, and I can assure you that it has expired and they will go. There is no tension anywhere.
The reason why we use, of course, we've never seen local government headquarters like this being occupied, given this kind of situation, at least in the recent future. I remember clearly people like Nwan Osike, the local government chairman of Ikwere local government, clearly stating that it's not going anywhere, which is why everybody is concerned. There are places or there are local government where there are specific concern when it comes to this issue. So are you saying that everything is under control by your own assessment from where you sit?
But by my assessment, everything is under control, and I can assure you, yes, there were inflammatory statements that were made by some council chairmen, and you will agree with me that all of them swore to an oath for a 3-year term, and that 3-year term will expire by midnight today. You don't need to, sometimes we escalate, social media escalates some of these issues. One Osike knows that by 12 midnight today, his tenure will expire, just like every other council chairman knows that by midnight today, some of them, maybe some media houses won't relay this to the public. Some of them had Thanksgiving and valedictory sessions, as yesterday. The council chairman of Opobo Nkoro had his end of term Thanksgiving service. The council chairman of Bonny local government area also had a end of term Thanksgiving service and valedictory session yesterday. They are going, so there is no problem at all. I can assure you that everything is under control. The governor has full control of activities in the states.
It is expected that Opobo Nkoro, I don't think it's a surprise that Opobo Nkoro or Bonny will be having issues, because that's where the governor is from. I know he's from Opobo, and then Bonny, almost the Bani people, all of that. It may not be a surprise that, you know, they will be doing things.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that, please.
I was saying that it may not be a surprise to onlookers why Opobo Nkoro chairman or Bonny chairman will be doing Thanksgiving. The governor is from there. Don't you think so?
No, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of conscience. It's a matter of political leaning. You know, you swore to an oath. Oath of office. Your oath of office says 3 years. There has never been tenure elongation anywhere. And more importantly, Justice Q knocked off and dismissed or struck out the section of the local government law that was amended to say, look, if there is no election, well, I'm not talking about the legality or illegality of the state assembly right now, but they amended a section of the local government law and it asks for tenure elongation. Now, the council chairman of Bonny and the council chairman of Opobo Nkoro went to court to say, look, our tenure ought to expire on the 17th of June. And therefore, interpret this section. And the other 21 local government council chairmen sought to join the suit, but they weren't allowed at the State High Court. They went to the appeal court. The appeal court also didn't allow them to join the suit. So this council chairman took the state government to court. And the court said, look, this section cannot be amended. You can't shift the goalposts at the middle of the game. You took an oath of office for 3 years, and that 3 years will expire on the 17th of June. And that's it. You can't shift the goal. Nobody has taken an oath of office for a period of time, and in the middle or at the end of the tenure, you seek to extend your tenure. It hasn't happened anywhere in the history of politics or history of democracy in any part of the world, and it won't begin in Rivers State. Jeffries, let me say to you that their tenure will expire by midnight, and I can assure you, don't bother about whatever you read on the social media. None of them will go to any council secretariat on Wednesday, which is a working day. They won't. They know that their tenure has expired.
There are people, now you saw that before we came on air, before we started this conversation, Asari Dokubo, when he visited the governor, and on the sidelines of that visit, talking about youth should be advised for their own interests to stay away so that things don't escalate. As much as there are people...
I'm sure that you're referring to Asari.
Yes, that's what I mentioned. Yes, I talked about it.
It's actually, yes, for those who may have speculated that by Wednesday they will go to office when their tenure has expired. I think that's elicited the comment of Alhaji Asari Dokubo to say to our people, our youth, that nobody should be used. Because in any case, some of these people who want to use the youth or use some persons they call supporters, some of them have their children overseas. Some of them have their children outside the state. So you won't secure yours and you want to use others to destroy their lives. I think that's what Alhaji Asari Dokubo is pointing at. He is advising nobody should be used to make trouble where there is no trouble. Truly speaking, Jeffries, there is no trouble in Rivers State. Take that to the bank, and I'm giving you my word.
That is the expectation of everybody, Mr. Gogo-Jaja. But we saw those young people, and you know how things can go from 1 to 1,000 when it comes to young people.
No, like I said again.
Just hold on, Mr. Gogo-Jaja. Just hold on, just a minute, sir. They say they will resist any attempt. We expect that these kind of things are supposed to be done by law enforcement. So when you hear things like that, or you have that feeler, what kind of resistance are we talking about here? Are you going to, if the local government chairman, on Wednesday, which is the day everybody's returning to work after the 2-day public holiday, walk to that office, what happens? What are they going to do to them?
There is nothing to resist, because I can assure you that no council chairman will report to the local government secretariat on Wednesday. What I'm seeing, the clips you showed before, or like you're showing now, were youth who said that there were speculations, there were rumors, allegations of attempt to loot council property, and therefore they want to occupy their councils. It happened in just the 3 local government areas. I'm seated here in the heart of Port Harcourt. There is nothing like that. There is nothing like that in other 20 local government areas. They were reacting to rumors, because don't forget that at the end of tenure, even it's not just at the local government council level. Even in the states, ministries, agencies, and commissions, when you are about to leave office, some heads of agencies, some commissioners may want to do away with government property. Now, when these young men had that, I think that's what elicited that. Since nobody came to the council, I'm not sure, I don't believe that they may still be there. But like I said, no council chairman. I know my state. I know what they can do. No council chairman will report to the council on Wednesday. Don't bother about all the postings and social media hyping. Nothing like that will happen. The state is calm and peaceful.
Well, Mr. Gogo-Jaja, we're seeing visuals and we're watching and looking. You know, we're not following social media. This is channel, so we're reporting what we're seeing. Where this is channels television, we don't deal on speculation. So we see these pictures, we have correspondent there who are covering this event, and we're looking at it, giving certain history, we're asking questions, which is why you're here to provide perspective. Sure. But let's expand it even further, which is the issue of something that looks like a bit of an ethnic dimension, which is a concerning for a lot of people, given this development. It looks like the state is now divided along ethnic lines. What is the governor doing to make sure that these lines or these fault lines are closed? Because you mentioned that Opobo Nkoro, Bonny local government chairman, which is the riverine area. And now we're seeing Asari Toru, Akuku Toru, Degema, riverine area. So there is a lot, and we've seen the Ijaw ethnic nationality coming to show solidarity. I don't think we've seen Ogbako Ekwere in that level coming to show solidarity like that. So what do we do? What is the governor doing in terms of closing this gap that looks like there's a tension along ethnic lines, which is very disturbing?
Jeffrey, let me say again that there is no division along ethnic nationalities. The governor is providing amenities for all the local government areas. Call it Ikwere, call it Ekpeye, call it Yogonis. Now, what you're pointing towards to, or I'm sure what you want to talk about, is the issue of separate press conferences between the Rivers Ijaw People's Forum and the Rivers Ijaw People's Congress Forum. Well, these are people who felt the issue. The issue was that a particular set of people wanted to insult the leaders and the elders of Ijaw ethnic nationality. I think that it hasn't got anything to do with the governorship of Rivers State. Don't forget that those who were stated in that issue were former President Goodluck Jonathan, Elder Pa Edwin Clark, and Siriake Dixon, and many other Ijaw leaders. There were speculations that a set of Ijaw people want to go to the press and insult them. So those were some of those issues. But like you said, I want to say to you, I am sure I know who the governor is, that he will never take it. He will never, ever encourage a fight, either for him or against him, drawn along ethnic nationality, because he has most of his friends outside his own zone. He has some relatives outside his own zone. He's somebody who is sociable, somebody who is outgoing. So he has never encouraged anybody to talk about issues on ethnic nationality. Now, when you talk about, after all, those who were actually raising some of these issues are Ijaw people. If you go to the three Calabari local government areas you talk about, are Ijaw local government areas. Don't forget that the speculation was an allegation of attempting to loot council property, and they resisted it. So it hasn't got anything to do with ethnic line at all. There is no division in Rivers State.
Let's you're a former lawmaker, leader of the House at some point. So let's even look at the legalese, not necessarily too deep, but given the background you have on this issue of the governor, even what the governor is about to do, we expect him to maybe set up a caretaker committee to run the affairs of the council for a while. Isn't that, an aberration to the 1999 Constitution? Because I'll read to you what the Constitution says, not necessarily what the laws of Rivers State says. Section 7, subsection 1 of the Constitution, if they can put it up for me. The system of local government by, that's talking about the institution of local government now. The system of local government by democratically, that's the underlining word, democratically elected local government council is under this constitution guaranteed, and accordingly the government of every state shall, subject to Section 8 of this constitution, ensure their existence under law which provides for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, and function of such council. So that is what the 1999 constitution says when it comes to local government, formation of government, democratically elected. So anything outside that, do you think is legal, even for the governor? Because we've seen governors do this. I'm not saying only Governor Fubara has done this.
Now, Jeffrey, I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
All right. Now, there is one mistake we keep making. Whenever there is an inability to conduct local government election, everybody tends to blame the governor. Yes, the Constitution specified. And one of such steps is the constitution of an independent electoral commission. It is not the responsibility of the governor of a state to conduct election. Nobody has asked the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission why they were unable to conduct an election. I can assure you, I can tell you that if they present, or if they have ever presented, or they have presented any bill to the governor will release the funds. So why first is you must give 90 days notice of election. There are steps, there are publications you need to make. There are publications you need to release timetable. The State Independent Electoral Commission has never given a notice of election. Now, why do you blame that on the governor? If RISEC is unable to conduct the election within the stipulated time as stipulated in the laws of Rivers State, will the governor fold his hands and allow vacuum to exist? There is no vacuum in governance. Nature abhors vacuum. Now, what will the governor do? Whatever steps he wants to take, well, the law provides, peradventure the Independent Electoral Commission is unable to organize an election. You either set up what they call caretaker committee or interim management team to run the affairs of the council until such a time when the State Independent Electoral Commission will organize an election. So if they have not released, if they have not released their timetable, if they have not given the 90 days notice for election, the governor will have no option other to make an interim arrangement pending when the State Independent Electoral Commission will organize an election. And therefore, the problem does not lie at the table or at the feet of the governor. There is a body, a government body, a commission, the State Independent Electoral Commission, that is charged with the responsibilities of organizing these elections. Now, they have not been able to do so in any case, like you pointed to the Constitution. The law says you must give 90 days notice. They haven't given. The governor will not fold his hands.
All right, Mr. Gogo-Jaja.
He has to, because he is being compelled. As I'm talking with you, I think that the governor is being compelled, that is, if he decides to set up a caretaker committee, but he is being compelled because if he does not take steps by Wednesday or Thursday to fill in the gap, he will be failing in his duties.
Mr. Gogo-Jaja, as a lawmaker and as a politician, I want to ask you this straight up. It's this, they say, in English, they say, when coincidence is excessive, it becomes deliberate. One is an incident, second may be an accident, and then when coincidence is now excessive, it becomes deliberate. So the third time seems to be deliberate. How come INEC never fails, for instance, to conduct state elections and presidential election? We have never seen interim governor, administrative governor, under a democracy. But when it comes to local government, there's always that failure by the administration, because it's an entire administration, to conduct local government election. Why do you think that is? Because it's not just Rivers State. A couple of other states as well who are running on, some never conduct for 3 years, some just keep extending the tenure of the local government chairman as much as possible. Why?
Jeffries, I think that it is a matter of the law. I can tell you, incidentally, I was leader of River State House of Assembly when the local government law was passed. And part of our thinking then was that peradventure, should there be a situation where the State Independent Electoral Commission fails to organize election within this stipulated time, what do we do? Do we allow the council empty? Those were our considerations.
No, Mr. Gogo-Jaja, my apologies for butting in. My question is that in that inability, that consistent failure that we've seen across the country, including River State, that consistent failure, why does it always happen, if not for politics? What else?
No, let me, no, you won't. Governor Fubara is willing at any time to organize an election. Like I said, the State Independent Electoral Commission, a body that is charged with that responsibility, up till now has not issued any notice of election. Take that. Two, if you're talking about other states, maybe Zamfara, Bauchi, or many other states, I wouldn't speak for them, but don't also forget that in most cases, these state governors are the ones who fund the elections. So in their states, it may also be as a result of funds. If there is paucity of funds, then they know their priorities. But for me, like I said, if by 1999, when we came into the State Assembly, that every lawmaker considered that there shouldn't be need for the provision of a caretaker committee in the event of failure to organize election, maybe we won't be falling into this situation. But like I said, most times, like the governor of River State, I can speak for him, that he is not to be blamed in this case. After when he came, he could have as well dissolved the State Independent Electoral Commission. But he's running with the State Independent Electoral Commission. So it is not his fault.
Well, I'm going to expand that conversation further, and we will start looking for a way forward, Mr. Gogo-Jaja. I want you to stay with us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, continue the conversation on this controversy around this local government issue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We see our terminal CC Gogo-Jaja, former member of the River State House of Assembly. In fact, he was the leader of the House. He joins us via Zoom from Port Harcourt, the River State capital. We've been talking about the issue of local government tenure controversy. As a matter of fact, for records, for the fact that tenure expires today at midnight, they should no longer be chairman of local government, according to the 2018 Local Government Administration Act. Of course, they tried to amend that law, which has been a subject of adjudication and litigation. And so some young people have gone to some of the local government headquarters to occupy it to say, look, they are hearing that some persons may come around to pick a thing or two, whilst the local government chairman themselves at some point has said they will be occupying that seat come what may after their tenure expires, because the law amended allows them to stay for another 6 months, which is why we're having this conversation with Mr. Terminal CC Gogo-Jaja. Thank you, sir, for staying with us on the program.
Thank you, Jeffries.
All right, let's even begin to custom on this particular issue. The way things are done and designed, and the way you've seen local government being managed, using River State as a case study, do you think that local government indeed are designed to trickle down development or dividend of democracy to the people, honestly?
Yes, I do. It depends on who the chairman is. But let me, you said that by midnight, yes, they should. Yes, now, there are a lot of considerations we should make. Ordinarily, we shouldn't even be talking about this matter. But you see, when an assembly turns itself into an an object of caricature. Nobody respects whatever you do anymore. I will give you, for instance, don't forget, there was a period in this state when this same assembly, with Martins and Mehule as leader then, passed a law barring people from using public facilities, schools, for either meeting, marriages, campaigns. Don't forget, I know I saw one of these news items on your channels. Now, the same assembly, because another governor came in, they amended the law to say anybody can have free access, free for all. When the last administration was here, the Bureau for Public Procurement law stipulated that the government can mobilize contractors up to 70%. As soon as Governor Fubara came in, they amended the law. There is no law that has not been amended in this state. Now, in that situation, do you promulgate law or pass a bill into law to suit an individual? Or is it something you do for posterity, for future? Now, back to your question. If you are a good administrator, it is not just in Rivers State. If you are a good administrator, you occupy the office of a council chairman, it is for the purpose of development of the grassroots. Now, as a politician, my question has always been, why is it that more than 80% of those who have been council chairmen end their political career at the level of council chairmanship? It is because instead of developing the area, they treat and attend to personal issues. So it depends on who becomes council chairman. If you're somebody who has the interests of your local government area at heart, a lot of developmental projects will be cited in the community. And therefore, answering your question, I would say, yes, it is for the purpose of development. But those who want to say, this is my turn, it's all over. It's not just, it's all over. This is my turn. Don't also forget that there are those who are governors that do not also cater for the interests of the state. There are governors who have spent 8 years in office, in their offices, and yet there wasn't development. So it depends on the character of the person occupying the office.
All right, Mr. Gogo-Jaja, I just saw a press release by Mr. Chidi Lloyd, the council chairman of Emoa local government, from his chief press secretary, Bright Josie Elendo, which is the things we're raising. I'm going to read it word for word. The chairman of Emoha local government area, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, says his administration will begin the distribution of farming equipment such as machetes, files, HEC to farmers across the 14 wards in the local government area from Tuesday, June the 18th at the council secretariat. Dr. Lloyd said the gesture is in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to enhance agriculture and ensure food security. He said the Tuesday distribution will be to farmers from Ward 1 to 7, while Ward 8 to 14 will have their turn on Wednesday, the 19th. I just wanted to react to what I just read.
Jeffrey, is it not amusing? Is it not ridiculous for you what you just read now? Is it not ridiculous?
Council chairman, his tenure has not expired.
Yes. Now, when a man tells you that I want to begin the distribution of machete to people, what is the person telling you? Is it not? But let me say, truly speaking, on Wednesday is a working day. I have stated earlier, you won't find any of these council chairmen in the office. They won't be there. Their tenure has expired, and they won't take laws into their hands. I know all of us are Rivers people. They are law-abiding people. They won't go to the office. I've told you, don't bother about some of these things. The they publish. But for a man to tell you, that I want to start the distribution of machete, what does it tell you? Whoever is instigating them, whoever is encouraging them to foment problem in the state will not have that opportunity. Governor Fubara has said there is no room to give anybody the opportunity of causing problem in his state. He's in charge, nothing is going to happen. So behave as if you didn't read that thing, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure that
Mr. Gogo-Jaja, I can't behave as if I didn't read it. I'm a journalist. My job is to report issues. That press trial is from a local government chairman, so I can't ignore it, given the situation we found ourselves.
Empower people with machete.
So my question is, you've given assurances repeatedly whilst we've been talking for almost an hour that everybody should relax. What measures are being put in place so things don't escalate? Because we're talking about interest here. These are not kids' gloves.
Now, first is 2 council chairmen went to court to define their tenure, and Justice Q said your tenure ends on the 17th of June. That is one judgment. The other 21 council chairmen wanted to join the matter, and they were unable to join the matter. Judgment has been given. That's a suit against the state government. Then 2, the former House of Assembly members, the 26 you talked about, amended a law, the local government law, and elongated the tenure for additional 6 months. Peradventure, the state independent, don't forget, they didn't even talk about the state independent electoral commission. They said the governor refused. As a lawmaker, you ought to know that it is not the responsibility of the governor to organize an election. That's the duty of the State Independent Electoral Commission. But let's not even talk about that. And they said extension for another 6 months. Now, the matter was taken to court again. And Justice Q had given a judgment saying, in fact, he expunged that amendment from the local government law of Rivers State and said, you cannot extend, it is against the constitution, you can't extend. That's a judgment. I'm not talking about either injunction, whether interlocutory or an order. I'm talking about a judgment given by the state high court. And in any case, their matter will be coming up on Thursday. Thursday, we're here. They are talking about whether we're going or we're not going. The appeal court will give judgments on Thursday. But before then, their tenure has expired this night. And I can assure you that while they go to court on Thursday, they will be going as former council chairman. They won't go to the office. Whether you distribute machete or axe or sword to people as farming instruments, it won't make any sense because there won't be any farm to use those items anymore.
All right, Mr. Gogo-Jaja, well, he's saying he's going to stay in office. That is his position. But let's just, maybe my last question to you on this particular issue. What now is the way forward? Politically, the place is a bit fractured. The local government chairman, of course, he said their tenure is ending. But we still have assembly members whose status is neither here nor there, depending on who you are looking at, because there are all kinds of court orders, injunction, and judgment for and against. Politically, how can this be resolved? Because people have said this, if we go legalese, this may drag on. But politically, because the president tried to intervene, in fact, it looks like the president's intervention escalated things even further. So perhaps the president has removed his hand in the whole situation.
No. The president's intervention brought peace. I can tell you, because, you know, some part of the speculations, that's why when they said the governor didn't implement the 8-point agenda or agreement or settlement, sometimes when you look at them, you laugh. They are talking, they said the president said you shouldn't form caretaker committees. That's not what the president said. The agreement was, they speculated, they thought that at the heat of this crisis that the governor was going to dissolve the local government councils. And therefore, as part of the resolutions, the president said, don't dissolve the councils and don't set up caretaker committee. And the governor allowed the tenure to expire. So the tenure has expired. The way forward is, as former members, if I were them, they know that when you defect as a lawmaker, you have lost your position. I think that they should be asking for the ticket of APC to represent themselves for election. I think for the council chairman, they are already gone there. By midnight, they are former council chairman. For those who are still struggling, the other day, those who, I'm sure you played the tapes where they announced on the floor of the House, as it then was, as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, that they have defected to APC, went to court, got an interim order to say, look, don't do anything that we are members of the APC. The same people, that's why sometimes you look at those you call honorable. Are they really honorable? They return to say we are no longer members of we didn't defect. And therefore, like you said, there is no counter order for and against. Look at, there is an interlocutory injunction restraining those 26 people. They don't even recognize them. So it's an interlocutory injunction. If you don't discharge it, you don't parade yourself. Two, there is a judgment that by Justice Kyo,
we're totally out of time, Mr.
Clearly that your tenure as council chairman will expire by midnight today. So that's the position.
Mr. Terminus Gogo-Jaja, former leader, River State House of Assembly, I must thank you. And I hope you're better now. I know you're not feeling too well. I hope you're better now.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
I am stronger. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Good night and God bless Nigeria.